Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
All right, good morning. Thank you for your response.
Good
I
morning,
want to
sir.
welcome you to the board. Good morning. I'm reading all the comments. Some are
Good
saying,
morning,
no,
sir.
morning, ma.
Thank you very much, sir. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you. So if you log in the morning and you can't hear my voice, just relax. I'm already
Okay.
on board. You can see that the
Oh,
room is open. I'm only trying to make sure that I stream on YouTube so that we can watch it later. So that's why I might just be quiet for some few minutes. Then you
oh,
see that I come on. So just calm down. We are here for you. So
thank
there's
you.
nothing
Okay,
to
sir.
worry about. So I want to welcome everybody again to another analysis.
Thank you very much. You're
Mm.
welcome. Yeah.
All right, Mr.
You're
Joy say
welcome.
people they para because they want to make money. All right. That's why we're here for you at PU Prime, giving you the guide you need to make money in the Forex market. So it's a new day. Yeah, yesterday I remember telling us that there was no fundamental event yesterday. So I said it categorically that there was a possibility that the market might be quiet. And if you observe, that was what happened yesterday. We didn't see any serious movement. Generally, Mondays can be quiet. But now when even there's now no fundamental event, the market could really get more quiet. And that was what we experienced yesterday. But today is going to be different because today is loaded with a lot of fundamental activities. And that's what our focus will be on today. The analysis from yesterday still holds. We still hold our positions as in our bias as we analyze for the week is still holds. So that's what we'll just reemphasize as we prepare to trade, the events that will happen today. So I'm on Forex Factory by 8 a.m. this morning. That is barely 40 minutes from now. There'll be two events from the United Kingdom. That's claimant count change and average earning index. 3 months per year. That's like a quarterly thing. So let's look at what these events are all about. So we'll click on detail. And for the claimant count charge, it measures the change in the number of people claiming unemployment-related benefits during the previous months, and actual less than forecast is good for currency. All right, I always say that any events that has to do with unemployment, actual less than forecast is always good for the currency in such a situation. And we can see one here with the claimant count change. And the second one is the average earning index. And this one measures the change in the price businesses and government pay for labor, including bonuses. For this one, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. Now, we should note here, the first one, actual less than forecast is good for the currency. The second one, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. Now, when the news is released, it will take some seconds for you to try to calculate which one is less than, which one is greater than. Relax. In this kind of scenario, our focus is going to be on the colors. Our focus is going to be on the colors. Okay, Mr. Michael. Michael is saying my news is showing 7 a.m. Is that true? Mine is showing 8 a.m. here. Let me refresh again. Let's quickly attend to that. So I'm refreshing my Forex Factory. The time is still, as the time for the news is still 8 a.m. So that person should check his device. If your news is showing 7 a.m., wait, let me get you. Are you saying that the
Even my own
time,
is 7 a.m., sir.
wait, is it the time for the pound news
Yes,
or the time
news.
on your platform?
No, the time for the news, the time for the news.
It's showing 7 a.m.
Yes, sir.
You
Well,
need to synchronize. You need to synchronize your forex time with Nigerian time. I think that's the difference. They are 1 hour or so behind or something.
It has to do with your device anyway, because normally I didn't have to reset mine. We had the daylight saving change yesterday. So automatically my platform just, automatically moved to the new time zone, but it's like yours is not doing that. So like that person advised, you may need to go to Forex Factory. It's not difficult. Let me just do it for us in a minute, just to watch what I'm going to do now. I'll just come over to the upper part of my Forex Factory. You can see where you have time, either up here or the one on the table. But then I prefer going to the one at the upper part. I'm talking about this one. If you can see, that's a yellow pencil. I mean, blue. Let me use the yellow. Yellow is more obvious. So you can come to the upper part, of the platform up there. You can see the time. Then I'll click on it and ensure the time zone is now set to West Central Africa, which is GMT +1. Just if it's not there yet, scroll through till you get to West Central Africa GMT +1, then click on Save Setting. And once you've done that, click the refresh button and your time should be automatically updated. So you can just try that if you are on your device right now, and you have your time properly set. The pound news is coming up by 8 a.m. That's the time because the current time is 7:14. You can see my current time is 7:14 and the time for the event is 8 a.m. So make sure that's what you have, or else you may be missing out on some of these events, or you may, your platform may make you feel you are ahead of the time and you still end up missing out on that event. Okay, Samuel who came in and said, mine is showing 8. Exactly. Mine is also showing 8. So just try to update your device. All right, so let's continue. So like I said, now the first event is showing actual less than forecast is good for the currency. The second one is showing actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. It may sound confusing because the first few seconds when the news is released, you're trying to calculate in your mind which one is greater than, which one is less than. Now, the best thing to do in this scenario is just to focus on the colors that the event will be released with. If the color is green, you know that you are going to buy the pound. If you have a green scenario, we are going to buy the pound. Now, we should note that these two events are not related in any way. So it's not mandatory that the outcome will be green, or red. But at least let's just start with that. If you have a green scenario, it means that the pound will go strongly bullish. And if on the other hand, we have a red, it means we're going to be looking at an opportunity to sell the pound. So if you have a green, we're looking at selling and buying, majority of the pound pairs like GBP USD, GBP CAD, GBP JPY, GBP New Zealand, you buy them. And if it does not favor the pound, that is a red, then you are looking at selling, the pound. However, the other scenario is we could end up having a green red or a red green scenario. That is when you have a conflict. If you have the conflict, a green red or a red green scenario, I will advise to stay out in such a situation because when you have a conflict like that will lead to a spike. You will see a buying and selling simultaneously. That's what happened to NFP last Friday. So when you have it as opposing setup, then please just stay out. See, one of the things about trading is that it's not all the time you trade. It's either you're looking for an opportunity to buy or sell, or you stay out. Staying out is as good as winning because you will not have risked your money at that point in time. So one of your risk management strategies is also learning when to stay out. Don't always have that itchy finger because I know that thing happens to a lot of newbie traders. I've been there, I've experienced it. You just want to place a trade because maybe you have in your mind that you must make 2% of account every day. You know, all those things that people are always told. It doesn't always work like that. You need to face reality as a trader. As you get mature in this business, you even discover that you win more when you trade less. I'll repeat that. In this business, you may end up winning more when you trade less because you take your time to know the best time to make your entry. And if things are not lining up, you stay out till you get a clarity, that the market is good enough for you to enter a trade. So when you have a conflict, like I said, we're going to stay out, we're going to stay out if there's a conflict. Now, another possibility that could happen, we may have a green and a black. That is a possibility because sometimes we really don't talk about this black. Black means actual, equal to forecast. Now, if you have a green, that is, the news favors the pound, we expect the pound to buy. We have a black, it may still buy with a green and a black. It may still buy because at that point, the black is acting as a neutral indicator. So the overall sentiment provided by the green, the bullish, can still drive the black in such a situation. So you may still buy if you have a green and a black, or if it's a red and a black, you may still sell. But if it is a green, black, please stay out in such a situation. So that's it for the pound. Then we'll go over to the dollar event. Now, for the dollar, we have 3 simultaneous events happening by 1:30 p.m. We have core CPI monthly, and CPI yearly. Everything there has to do, with the CPI. Let's just look at it briefly. CPI is the change in now CPI means Consumer Price Index, and is a change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, excluding food and energy. Actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. That's the core CPI. So let's look at CPI. CPI is the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, and that's CPI monthly. And the CPI yearly, change in price of goods and services purchased by consumers. Actual greater. Now, the emphasis on all of them is that actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So in this scenario, if we have, since they are all CPI, I want to believe, though it's subject to change, or let me use what I want to assume. Let me not use the word believe this time. Let's assume that we end up having the data all in one direction. So if it is a green, then we're looking at buying the dollar. The dollar will be bullish if it's a green scenario, if all the news events favors the dollar. And if on the other hand, the events do not favor the dollar, if it comes out bad or worse for the dollar as a red, we're looking at selling the dollar in such a situation. Again, if it's for unforeseen reasons, we end up with a conflict. You're having a green-red or a red-green scenario, it would be advisable you just stand out for a while and watch what is going to happen first in the market. Once you can see a conflict, it's not the best to plunge into it. So if you have a conflict, we have a red-green, a green-red, stand down. Later on, you may enter. When the effect of that news wears out, you may use the technicals to enter later. So, but you can enter if everything lines up, a green for a buy, a red for a sell. But once there's a conflict, learn to stay out at least for the next like 30 minutes. Wait for the next 1 hour candle and see what is happening technically before you can decide to trade in such a situation. All right. So then later on in the evening, by 6:01 p.m., we have a 10-year bond auction. Generally, whatever has happened on these 3 events, will impact upon this other one. So if you are still in the market, I will advise just put your stop loss in place, just in case this 10-year bond comes out not to be in the same direction as the previous events. Okay, so let's go over now. So for the dollars, I round up. A green means we're buying the USD JPY, USD CHF, or USD CAD. And a red means we're selling also those same instruments, USD CAD, USD JPY, or USD CHF. So I'll flip over now to my technicals and we'll just look at the buyers ahead of all these events. We're going to start with the pound. Now, I want to appreciate us. I'm seeing some level of activity in terms of some activity generally on my YouTube channel. People are dropping comments, questions. I like that. Thank you. Because that will help to trigger the algorithm so that, YouTube will make sure those videos are visible to more people, which is good for growth. So somebody was asking yesterday, I hope that person is on the platform because I responded to that comment, was asking for my view on GBP JPY ahead of the news this morning. I was thinking of doing a video, but then it's going to be a repetition because I know I'm still going to talk about the pound and GBP JPY during the analysis this morning. So I responded to that person to join today's morning analysis. So I want to believe that person should be on board. And if he or she is not on board, well, this video is streamed on YouTube. Same person can watch it, after the analysis. So I'll look briefly at the pounds. Now, I remember telling us yesterday that I hold a bearish sentiment on GBP CAD. As of yesterday morning, when we had the analysis, price was up here on the GBP CAD, but then I said I believe the price is going to, crash. I didn't even know it was going to fall so much like this between yesterday and this morning. But then the ultimate is actually the breakout. All this one is still internal movement within this pattern. How did you get this pattern? If you go to the weekly time frame, we can clearly see that price, hit a resistance level on the weekly time frame, and it closed on that level last week Friday. So technically, we're looking for a bearish opportunity this week, and we will draw a rising wedge on that, point where the price hits the resistance. So we have a confluence, a resistance on the weekly time frame, a rising wedge on 4 hour. So all we're waiting for is a breakout. So we have a bearish bias on GBP CAD. So if the news this morning by 8 o'clock, that is barely 35 minutes from now, if the news comes out as a red, not favoring the pound, there are two events. If you have a red, then it will be the beginning of a bearish breakout on GBP CAD, because at that point, the fundamental will be, aligning with the technical, which can give a lot of volatility for the movement on GBP CAD. Now, this could be a kind of a swing trade. However, if you want to trade it intraday, by the time it picks on 20, 30 pips, you can come out of the trade, because I will advise you stick to your personal trading style. Don't just follow anybody blindly. We are all not the same. So if what works for you is intraday, if the news comes out not to favor the pound, trigger a sell, pick your normal number of pips, and you can be out of the trade. But if you're a swing trader, I'll advise you leave it to run, for a longer period of time. Now, what if the news comes out to favor the pound? What if you have a green scenario? Will the pound buy? Yes, possibly to buy, but then it's just going to buy on a short term to hit the resistance. However, the longer term movement is bearish. So I have long-term bearish outlook on GBP CAD. Personally, I'll be looking just for a sell. If it buys, for me, I may just, based on my own personal trading style, I may just stay out if it's a buy situation, because my technicals, I want to follow my technicals, which is telling me it's going to be a sell. So that's what I will look out for. Even if it buys, it will just be for a short while, before price may reverse to that longer term direction. Always learn to trade with the trend. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. I learned trading, with the trend. Like, how long should someone leave it to run? That all those kind of things are discretionary. I can't determine that, because we don't know how volatile it could be. That's why I say if it hits your profit target, if it's like 20 pips, come out of it. If you're an intraday trader, 20, 25 pips. Even if it happens in a minute, take it and leave. It's swing traders that naturally have the patience to wait long. So if that's not your thing, don't try to force it. Just trade normal as you would trade at any time. Pick your normal number of pips and be out of the market. So that's in response to Paul Chicks. All right. So that's my view on GBP CAD. I hold a bearish outlook, but then if it comes out to favor, we'll have a short-term, bullish movement, but the longer term is actually a bearish movement on GBP CAD. And the other one is GBP New Zealand. And for the GBP New Zealand, I equally analyze this. Do you have a video that explains swing trading, Temitope? Well, I don't have a definite video that explains swing trading, but since you're asking, I might create a video for that. Maybe just send me a reminder in my WhatsApp, I may get busy. But then I'll take note of it now. Let me just put it in my notepad. I might create a video since you're asking. I believe some other people too will benefit from that. All right, so thanks for that, Temitope. Let me just quickly drop that. Do a video on swing trading. Okay. All right. So now for GBP New Zealand, we have price hits a resistance zone on the daily time frame. This is just as we had it since yesterday. And on the 4-hour time frame, I told us yesterday that I was seeing this as a head and shoulder pattern. Now, as at the time we had the analysis yesterday, if you remember, price was just somewhere around here. Let's do a proper, back testing. Yesterday morning was 11th, and we had the analysis at between 7 and 8 a.m. That's 8 to 9 a.m. Okay. Okay, so price was just, where we have this line as at yesterday. Now you can see that price, came down a little, giving us that feel of a head and shoulder. So it's still valid. I still hold that view of a head and shoulder, which will lead to a bearish breakout from technical projections. And the funny thing that is even happening now is that I can see another formation of a head and shoulder again between this place, head, shoulder rather, head, second shoulder again, and a drop. So we have a strong confluence for a bearish breakout on this instrument. So if the news again comes out not to favor the pound, I believe that should trigger a bearish movement on GBP New Zealand, just like that's what we have on CAD. So I hold a longer term bearish movement on GBP New Zealand if the news does not favor the pound. However, again, if the news favors the pound, we may see a slight bullish movement. So we have a long-term bearish, a short-term bullish. But personally, I will go for the longer term, which is the bear. Now, if you're going to trade this as a swing trader, you will need to exercise some patience. But then this could actually give some very massive, number of pips, all things, being equal. So if the news comes out not to favor the pound, we could see price drop to Fibonacci 61.8 at 154 pips, to Fibonacci 78.6 at about 248 pips. And it could even get to Fibonacci 100, but that will not happen in one day. That's why it's swing. It will take, the entire week or possibly beyond. So that's why I said earlier that if you're a day trader, trade it the way you know how to trade it. Trade news, some few minutes you're out. If you're a swing trader, you can hold your position, for a longer period. So again, I hold a longer term bearish outlook on that GBP New Zealand. And thirdly, I'll address the GBP. Okay, let me address the GBP US. Now, GBP USD, I'll be careful about trading GBP USD today, except if the conditions align properly. Now, on the weekly time frame, what I have on the weekly time frame is this. We have a trend line that is trending downwards, from the weekly down to the tip there. Then on the daily, we identify between last Friday, yesterday, and this morning. We have this double dual candle where one is bullish, the other is bearish. Technically, this should lead to a bearish breakout. So generally, you are seeing that the pound actually has a bearish sentiment. We've seen that on GBP CAD, GBP New Zealand, and now same on GBP USD. But then I'll be careful to trade GBP USD except some conditions I met, like I said, because we're going to be having a pound news and there's going to be a dollar news in the afternoon. And GBP USD is made up of the pound and the dollar. So if the news comes out in the morning, not to favor the pound, GBP USD could sell. But then if you're holding your position till afternoon, if the news goes, not to favor the dollar again in the afternoon, that will create some conflict for you. You understand? They said John wants to trade it for some few minutes and you're out, fine. Otherwise, personally, I don't want to have anything to do with this because we have a dollar news in the afternoon. But then if you feel you want to, well, that's an independent decision. So finally, so I'm not really talking much about GBP USD. Finally, on the pound, I'm looking at GBP JPY, and this is exactly the one that person that sent me a comment on YouTube was asking about. What's my view? Now, this is my take. I saw this last night, but honestly, I was tired to do a video. As I said, okay, since we're having money analysis, it should be the same thing. There should not be duplication of videos. Now, as of last night, price closed on this resistance level. Sorry, resistance turned price broke resistance. The resistance became support. Technically, we should expect a bullish continuation. Now, you can see that that's the sentiment. It's actually bullish. We have a bullish sentiment on GBJPY. And between last night and this morning, when price touched that resistance turn support, you can see that price has actually gone a little bullish, giving us this, bearish reversal pattern. Now, if the news by 8 o'clock comes out, to favor the pound. Now, if it favors the pound, personally, like I said, I will not be looking at buying GP card or GP New Zealand because those ones are more bearish, in sentiment. If it comes out to favor the pound, you can buy GBP JPY because this one has a bullish sentiment. We have a bullish sentiment on GBP JPY. So if the news by 8, that is less than 25 minutes from now, if it comes out to favor the pound, that is we have a green, you can buy GBJPY. But if it comes out not favoring the GBP, then you can sell GBP card and GBP New Zealand. So I hope that is well taken, for the news on pound this morning by 8 o'clock. All right, so I've taken my time to explain that. Now I'll go over to the dollar. For the dollar, we still hold on to our bullish sentiment, from yesterday's analysis. The market, entered into a range because there was no fundamental event, yesterday. Market was just ranging. So this morning, just a second, please. All right, apologies for that little break. So if the news comes out, like I said, we still hold our bullish sentiment. We can see we have a support, resistance, support zone. That's a key level. We expect technically a bullish breakout, on the dollar index. This is the dollar index, and whatever happens on the dollar index will cut across the other dollar pairs. So if the news this afternoon favors the dollar just in line with what we are seeing technically, then we expect the dollar index to go bullish, in which case we expect USD USD CHF, possibly USD CAD, but then we'll look at them one by one to go bullish. So we have a bullish outlook on the dollar index. So I'll be looking at USD CHF. USD CHF is still the same. We have a support zone. So if the news comes out to favor the dollar, will be expected to buy. You can buy, let me use what you can buy USD CHF. Now, if the news does not favor the dollar, that means it's just entering into this zone. That will be a very short-term movement. So personally, I'll be looking out for more of if the news favors the dollar, because I don't expect to sell within that zone. That's except your scalper and is your thing, fine. Maybe you can just pick some 5 pips if you can do that at all. But rather, I will look out for more of the longer term movement, which is bullish. And so you can see the price is getting ready. We're having what is looking like a triple bottom pattern, which will give us that bullish breakout. As of yesterday, it was looking like it was going to form an inverted and shoulder. I always tell us market structure can change. but then the sentiment will remain the same. Pattern can change. It can change from rising wedge to head and shoulder, but basically it will still be a bearish pattern. So that's just what I'm trying to explain. So we are still bullish on the USD CHF. And just a second. Okay. And USDJPY likewise, it still is bullish. I'm not sure if we looked at this yesterday. No, price was not at a support zone as of yesterday, but then price eventually hit support. Eventually hit support yesterday, and it's trying to reverse back. Again, if the news favors the dollar, you can buy USDJPY. It's tradable. Now, please, I'm also not suggesting that you must trade all these instruments. Don't trade more than maximum of 2 or 3. Don't dump all of them. Don't do that dumping. News favors the dollar index. You buy USDJPY, USDCJ, USD, you sell Euro USD. Don't do all that, please. Just pick some few, preferably in the same direction. Like now, you can buy USDCHF and USDJPY, and that's all you're doing for the dollar. Now, the next one I'll look at is the Euro USD. So if USD is buying, Euro USD will be selling. And that's what we have technically. I told you yesterday that we're having a head and shoulder pattern. Yeah, the range is what was responsible for this. I still expect it to break out. So if the news favors the dollar, I'll be looking at selling Euro USD. Again, if the news favors the dollar, I'll be looking at selling gold. You can see gold up there. I don't know. Can you still see my screen? Hello, are we there?
Yes.
You can see my
Yes. We still
All
see
right.
your screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if the news favors the dollar, then gold is still expected to break out. We have a bearish outlook on gold, since yesterday. So that's it. So like I said, face one direction. You are either buying USDCHF or USDJPY, or you are selling Euro USD or gold. Don't buy a USDJPY, USDCHF and sell Euro USD and gold. All of them at the same time. That's not safe. Just pick two that are in the same direction. That is safe for you. So this morning, maybe 8 o'clock news, maybe you are selling GBP card or GBP New Zealand, and that's okay. Or if the news favors, you are buying just GBP alone. That's good. Don't overtrade. That's just a watchword, I want to pass across there. All right, so that will be all for my analysis this morning as we await the news by 8 o'clock. But then on the technical, I just want to give one technical setup which might trigger in the course of today, and that's AUD card. AUD card on the daily time frame, you can see we have the descending trend line, confirmed on the 4-hour down to 1 hour, and on 1 hour we have a rising wedge, and we have a pattern that looks a lot like a head and shoulder. The second shoulder is not perfect, but it's still a head and shoulder. So I'm expecting a breakout on this one in the course of the day. But I will advise you to wait for maybe the news to be released from the dollar so that you know that fundamentals are over, before you take a trade on this. The neckline is somewhere around here. So just wait for price to break out below the neckline, and you can trigger a sell on AUD card. All right, so that's all for my analysis. I want to quickly attend to some of the questions that people have dropped. Okay, Olubodun Jami is asking Fibonacci video. I already made the Fibonacci video. There's this popular demand for Fibonacci video. I've done the video. I've uploaded it yesterday.
Is there? I watched it yesterday. You should go to your YouTube channel.
Thank you, sir. So Olubodun Jami, you can see now people are watching it. Go to my YouTube channel and search for the Fibonacci video. It's there, very educative. And please drop your comments, so that it can trigger the YouTube algorithm to show to more people. Then Ernest Lawrence is asking, how do you trade after news outcome? Is it immediate or you wait for, or after like a minute? As long as your Forex factory gives you the data, like I said, if you have a green, you buy. If you have a red red, you say you don't need to wait, because at that time, what is important is if you have multiple data coming out and they are all saying the same thing, you don't need to wait. Even if it is a one item event and the item it's coming out, maybe it's a buy, and that buy you can verify with your technicals and everything is lining up, you don't need to wait. Just enter your trade immediately. But for more information on how to trade news, go on my YouTube channel. There is a whole video there dedicated to fundamental trading, Forex fundamental strategies. The cover for that video is like orange. Click on it. It's very educative. It's all you need to know about how to trade fundamental news in Forex. Go and watch it. You will learn more about how to trade. But I've just given you the simple tip you need to get started. So that's for Ernest Lawrence. Are you streaming live, Daniela? Saying yes, I'm streaming live. So you can watch this video again after the class. It's available on my YouTube channel live. You can watch it. Euro USD is still going bearish. Yes, Mr. Sonny Chooks, Euro USD is still going bearish technically. We just, let's just watch out for the news. If the news comes out in line with that, then we can trigger a sell. Except if the news, changes the direction, except that, but technically, we're still bearish on the Euro USD. My YouTube channel is a Learn Forex. It's a Rotimi Olawale. So I'm typing it now with Rotimi Olawale YouTube. So you can go there. A lot of educative content I'm dropping, and I'll keep dropping more content to make us better traders. I can't drop the link here, please. Just type, Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale, then you can just go to the channel. Can you recap about the time setting on Forex Factory app?
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Please, I want to understand the technical formation in this Euro USD. From weekly candle showing head and shoulder, but on 4 hours, I'm not finding anything. Then on 1 hour, I think it showed head and shoulder yesterday, but today I don't even understand the formation again. So I just want to learn or know how to interpret it. Probably the 1 week supersedes all these 4 hours and 1 hour and all that. And then I want to know where the formation for the bearish movement is. Thank you.
All right, sir. Now, this is Euro USD on the weekly time frame, like you said. Okay, so this is what you mean by you are seeing head and shoulder on the weekly, right? Am I correct, Mr. Sonny?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, while that is true to an extent, you should also note that it will take a longer time, for that to break out. And for me, I actually didn't use that as my sentiment, for this analysis. What I did more was, let me see, on the daily time frame. Yeah, I use more of the daily. So there is these things, you can be flexible with it. But what is important is that you're picking what is most realistic at the moment. That is what is important. Like now, what I did was that, let me clean off. I cited a rejection candle on the daily time frame. And I moved over from that daily. I tried to look for a resistance. And you can see that we have a corresponding resistance right here, 1, 2. And this is the point where price hit that resistance level. So we have a valid resistance. Now that does not, nullify your view, but then, this gives it more flesh that you are certain that, a breakout will happen in the bearish direction. So I only just took it a step further by making that upper part not just a resistance line, but a zone, which in reality, that is what it is. So we have a resistance zone. Then on 4 hour, Nothing really on 4 hour. Then on 1 hour, as at yesterday, we drew a trend line and a second one at the back. So we have a rising wedge. And as at the analysis yesterday morning, we also now saw a shoulder, a edge. Now, this time, as at when we had the analysis, that was between 7, 8 a.m. yesterday. Yeah, this is 8 a.m. 8 a.m. on the platform is 7 a.m. Nigerian time. So this is where the candle was yesterday, or the price was. So it was just easy for me to feel like this should form a second shoulder and drop. But there was a range in the market yesterday. There was no volatility. So that was why we now ended up having this, kind of movement. This is a ranging market that you can see. Has it invalidated the head and shoulder? Not really. Because even if the head and shoulder is invalidated, the rising wedge pattern is still valid. Price is still expected to break out of this. So I still hold on to that bearish outlook on Euro USD. I hope that explains to you, sir. Is Mr. Sonny still there? Okay. You can watch the video later. That's just it. I still hold that bearish outlook.
I get it clear now.
All right, sir.
Thank you.
Like I said, except if the news comes out to favor, to change the direction. If the news does not favor the dollar, what will happen is that price will go and hit this resistance, but later on it will still come down. So me, I'm still waiting for that bearish breakout. Anyhow, the market wants to do this thing. All right, so I've attended to that. How does someone recognize patterns in order to draw lines? Is that another thing to study on its own? Yes, sir. You have to study patterns. If you are based in Lagos or Abuja, you can attend our physical classes where we teach extensively on this. Can you help with live trading, the news this morning? So Joe Bilano, we've given you the tips on how to trade the news. You have to trigger it by yourself. And we've said it, we've done the analysis. If the news favors, we're looking at our bias for the pound, for GBP card and GBP New Zealand. If the news does not favor the pound, sell GBP New Zealand, sell GBP card. If the news favors the pound, buy GBP JPY. I don't know any other thing to do outside that. I've given you what to look out for. And for the dollar, we have a bullish outlook on the dollar. If the news favors the dollar, buy either USDJPY or USDCHF, or sell Euro USD or gold. So that's just it. Except you want to set pending order, if that's your thing. But I've given you the bias of what will likely happen. My own Forex Factory app says GBP news is 7 a.m. Please go to the Forex Factory and reset. Please kindly do a video on how to use RSI. Okay, I think this request was sent yesterday also. I'll look at doing that today. Maybe today or latest tomorrow, you should have the video on my YouTube channel. I'm seeing the request the second time. It's noted. I'll do that. Okay, Mr. Emmanuel Oko is asking about NAS 100. All right, so let's do that as we round up. It's 7:51 already. Gabby, what's the best time frame to trade, sir? That depends on your personality as an individual. It depends on you. I can't give you my best time may not be your best time. And that's where our personalities, come into place when trading. We're not all the same. I'll do an extensive video on this, how people, get it wrong in trading when they try to follow people. You can learn from people, but you may not be able to replicate exactly what they're doing if it's not in line with your own personality. I think I would need to make an extensive video on that so that we can all learn. So you need to identify what kind of a person are you. Are you a fast-paced person, or are you naturally a patient person? You're relaxed, you're not in a hurry. That will determine the kind of time frame you use to trade. All right, for Mr. Emmanuel Oko that is asking about NAS 100. So please, that person, you may send me a reminder so that I can make a video on that. to clarify that for you. For Mr. Emmanuel Uko, this is a NAS 100. I purposely didn't talk about this yesterday because I still feel the same, even though the technicals was saying bearish. But like I said, this instrument is more fundamental driven now, except there's a lot of changes, in the fundamentals. It will remain so for a long period. So it's doing what I felt will happen. It hit a support yesterday. So we had a rejection candle on the trend line on the daily time frame. So we are looking at a bullish, continuation, even though currently it's looking as if it's going to go bearish. But then I think I'm looking at this more like an inverse head and shoulder, which should break out. So I hold a bullish outlook on NAS 100, Mr. Emmanuel. However the market wants to go, even if the pattern is also clear, what I would advise to do is you can wait for a clear break above the current price level, a reasonable break above this current level. It may form an inverse head and shoulder before it breaks out, and it may not. But just wait for a clear break above this current level, then you can trigger a buy on NASA 100.
Thank you, Mr. Rotimi.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you
Okay,
very
this
much.
question has not been handled. Which question? Can you recap about the time setting on Forex Factory app? Okay, please, let's always join on time so that we won't need to be repeating the same things. I will just oblige you, but then we actually have to go to some other things, but in a minute. It's 6 minutes before the news. Now, if you want to reset, can you set the Forex Factory time centrally for us? No, I can't. You have to do it independently. I can't set it centrally for you. Okay, maybe I'll also do a video. Please, all these things, I should just perhaps the time so that you can just watch at your convenience and you can do it. But then I'll just show you how to do it now. But for others, I might just need to make a video on it. Now, to set your Forex Factory, come to the upper side of the chart, sorry, of the page. Let me change the color of that pencil to yellow. That's more visible than blue. You come to the upper part here, you can see it's currently showing 7:14, because I've not refreshed in a while. If I refresh now, it will change to the current time on my machine, on my laptop, which is 7:55. So you can see it's my Forex Factory is synchronized with my local time. You can see my local time below here is 7:56 a.m. now, just 1 minute because I just refreshed that. So you click on the time button, then this menu will appear. Time zone. Make sure what you are seeing is GMT +1, West Central Africa. If that is not what is there, click on the scroll down button till you get to GMT +1, West Central Africa. Click on it. Then click on Save Settings. So once you click that, you now refresh your page. Or you click on the home button, any one of the two. Then you see that it's been automatically updated. That's just it. So you can do that either from your phone or your laptop. It's the same effect you're going to get. Then you have the time properly synchronized. So I hope we have settled the issue of synchronizing your time on your Forex Factory to the local time.
Yes, has been done. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Now, I will not be able to give us any signal now on the PU profit scanner because we have a news. We can't give you signals when there is a news. But then, if you're yet to join our Telegram group, reach out to your account manager. They will add you to the Telegram group. The Telegram group is still free till Friday this week, after which you'll be required to fund a minimum of $100 if you are an existing client. If you're a completely new client, you will need a minimum of $200 to access the Telegram group. The benefit of the Telegram group is that you don't need to do all the she's not active again. Okay, Shade FX, can you reach out to me? so that I can know how to assist you. You can just reach me through the WhatsApp number that I use in sending out the link to this WhatsApp group. And I'll be able to assist you there. So what was I even saying? Okay, so like I was saying, the Telegram group is going to be free till Friday, after which you need to fund in order to continue receiving signals there. However, if you want to have the profit scanner on your system for yourself for life, just top up with $100 if you're an existing client, or you fund $200, and I will personally, see to how that software is installed on your laptop for you to use. For now, it's just going to be on the laptop. There's no mobile version for now. So if you want to have it, just do a top up and reach out to me, or you reach out to your account manager, and we'll ensure it is installed on your system. Yes, we take time. If we're not seeing a clear signal, we're not going to drop. It's not something we just drop randomly. If I'm responding to Temitope, if we're not seeing any signal, we will not drop. Temitope, what I always see is 30 pips, 40 pips. You look at the direction. What is the direction of the arrow? If the arrow is facing up, it means you are buying. If the arrow is facing downwards, it means you are selling. All right, so it's 33 seconds to the news on the pound. We are on the alert. We don't want to miss out on this one this time around. So let's just watch out for what will happen, in the next few seconds. I hope you can see my Forex Factory screen. I believe I have not changed it yet. So we should be watching it together. 15 seconds, 14. Now, we should also know that Forex Factory seems to be lagging recently. So we may not get the data at the exact time. It may take some seconds, before we get it. And you can also refresh to see if the data has been released. It's showing pending now. Taking some seconds. Okay, but then while that is ongoing, I want to quickly check what's happening to my pound instruments. Okay, I'm not seeing reaction on the pounds, so maybe the news effect still showing pending. Let me refresh again. I'm not sure this news is having any serious effect, because even the pounds pairs are not really, I'm not seeing any reaction. So I don't know if this is really carrying any weight. Besides, it's still showing pending. But normally, if the data is out, you'll have seen reaction. Even if Forex Factory is still delaying, you'll have seen reaction to the market. So it may not really be news.
It is selling now.
It's carrying. It's selling now. Okay, let me check that. Okay, GBP card is trying to sell. GBP New Zealand is doing the same. GBP JPY is just, on one spot trying to range. All right, so I've seen one data, but then that's just one. The first one is showing that the actual is greater than the. Please stay out. We have a conflict. You can say actual for claimant change is good for the pound. The average hourly index is bad. So please stay out. Don't take a trade. Later on in the day, when the effect wears out, then the other ones will go in their technical direction. Like GFA card will go in its technical direction, which is bearish. And the GBP New Zealand will go in its technical direction, which is bearish. So, but for now, if we just stand out, you can see GFA card is still going bearish. But then I will advise you wait for the next, for the clear breakout, because you might say it's selling, let me enter a sell. But because the data is a conflict, it may sell a while and go back into a buy. So just stay out and wait till the next 4-hour candle. Now, next 4-hour candle now, since the daylight saving has changed, will be 10 a.m. So by 10 a.m., if this candle closes below this trend line and RSI is clearly below 50, well, if you want to now enter a sell that time, you can as a swing trader. For intraday traders, please just stay out of this. Just stay out of this. So that's just it. But then there's a dollar news by 1:30. So even if I swing trader, I will advise maybe you wait till 2. Let the effect of all the news, wear out. If all things work out for this GP card, I see this pound GP card going as much as about 100 pips to Fibonacci 50 and 147 to 61.8. Please note this is strictly for swing traders. If you are not a swing trader, please trade with caution. All right, so that'll be all this morning. The news is not tradable, so we'll wait for the clear technical entry for the instruments for both GBP card and GBP New Zealand. For GBP New Zealand, if you're an intraday trader, yes, you can trade this because on the big picture we have. But for also intraday traders, also take note that this instrument has a wide spread. So if you are trading it, trade it with caution. For swing traders, it doesn't matter. You can trade it. The big picture, we have the formation of a head and shoulder. That's for the swing. And for the 4-hour again, we're not really swing. It's still a head and shoulder. So this other one, this smaller head and shoulder, we can scale down to 1 hour time frame. In 1 hour, this is shoulder, head, second shoulder, and a breakout. So if you want to trade this as a day trader, like I said, trade with caution because the spread on this instrument can be wide. So that's the neckline. By the next hour candle, you may trigger a sell, and you can target this level here as your take profit level. So wait for a clear breakout, and that could fetch you some close to some 70 pips on GBP New Zealand.
Sorry, yes, please, what do you say about the GBP New Zealand on the swing? Did you say that it's not tradable? Because I didn't get it well, sir.
I said on the swing side, we're waiting for the clear formation of a head and shoulder pattern. I think yes, I'm on my MT4. You can see my MT4.
Yes, sir. I've seen it.
All right. So we're waiting for a clear formation of a head and shoulder. It's still in formation on the big picture on the swing. And you can see price, we're still awaiting price to touch the neckline and break out. Okay. So for a swing trader, it's not yet time to enter a trade on this one. You need to wait. Now, but on 1 hour, we also saw the formation of a smaller head and shoulder, which is what is happening at the moment. And that is this one here. This is a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and a breakout. Breakouts may touch the neckline of the swing. You can see the current candle is trying to break out downwards.
Yes, sir.
And so when this candle closes, or currently now I think it's the news that is still pushing it. But I want us to be careful of this news. Maybe you can just wait for the next 15 minutes candle. Let's see that there's a clear breakout, below this neckline. Then you can enter a sell. But like I said, this instrument, this is GBP New Zealand. It can be volatile and the spread can be wide. So if you want to trade it as a day trader, trade it with caution. Use a small lot size, maybe 0.01 or 0.02. Like it can be volatile and the spread can be wide. So if you're trading it, you can trade it as a sell in the next by the next 15 minutes candle, which is 8:15. That's 7 minutes from now. What we are trying to achieve is that the neckline has been completely broken technically. Then you can ride the trend to the main support level there, which is the neckline of the swing head and shoulder. And that can give as much as between 60 to 70 pips for you.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. All right, so we're going to be ending this analysis here this morning. So I've taken notes of some of the requests. Somebody said I should do RSI video. Somebody said I should do, okay, I think I wrote the other one somewhere. I'll just, then I said I'll do a video also on how to synchronize our Forex factory. So expect those videos, in the coming days. I'm not guaranteeing today, but in the coming days. Just keep watching my channel. You will see those videos over there. And if you have any other topic you want me to just drop a video on, we'll do that. Swing trading video, okay? So, all right. So thanks for attending. Please trade safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You too.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you,
You're
sir.
welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Rotimi. Have a
You're
great
welcome,
day.
sir. You too.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir.